Yo, Cooper, get the fuck out of here, Cooper. Cooper, get the fuck out of here.
Is a good educational video link.
Come on, man.
When you were a kid, how much did you spend on Pokemon boosters? Or hope that
I bought a bunch of Pokemon boosters and Yu-Gi-Oh boosters when I was a kid, when they were $5 a pop.
you'll get your favorite toy that you wanted from your Happy Meal? Well, congratulations. You were gambling. Stick with me here, but as adults, we've gotten to a point where you're gambling every single day. It's all without you even knowing it. In fact, companies are spending billions to further turn consumption into the world's most hidden casino. And they've already successfully expanded their targets. 1 in 2 American men aged 18 to 49 already have a gambling account, but now it's increasingly
Nikkei. I'm cooked.
reaching women with creepy toys, blind boxes, and retail therapy.
I ain't gonna lie, the labubu shit though is so stupid, and I also heard that the labubu craze low-key died down, that there's so much labubus now in the wild. Like, from what I heard and from what I've seen on the internet, they say you can find labubus at Goodwill now. There's so much labubus everywhere, and people are still going, like, there's still like a certain group of people that are like fiending buying the new labubus. Bro, I already said this. I feel like if you have a whole collection of labubus and a whole wall of that shit, I'm like, bro, come on, dude. It's cool if you get like 3 labubus max, maybe 4. But bro, if you have like 10 of them, I'm like, what's wrong with you, bro? Why you got so many? You said they're so fucking ugly. What I don't like is that there's so many different versions of them. You know what I'm saying? They could change one thing. They could be like, oh, the eyes are regular. Oh, the eyes are closed. Oh, the eyes are open with sparkles on them. Oh, I gotta get the Kless. What the hell's wrong with you, bro? You, like, thank you, Kless.
So how exactly did we get from childhood toys to now everything we buy feeling like a gamble? Well, after weeks of research, I found that this goes way beyond this secret form of the gambling.
It's just another version of Cabbage Patch Kids.
The U.S. is increasingly becoming an economy that runs on it. Because when life gets unaffordable, addiction usually becomes the only escape. But if something isn't done about this soon, it's slowly becoming an addiction without a cure.
How much did you spend on labubus last month?
Probably like $700.
You're choosing $700 in labubus over your marriage.
Blind boxes for many of the.
You see, but it's like, look at this, right? $700 in labubus. Why do you have so many? Because the whole point of a labubu is having them as a bag charm, right? 700 is ludicrous, bro. Not 700, but like $700 worth of them is ludicrous. That's like ridiculous.
Labubus over your marriage.
Blind boxes for many of the consumers is an experience. And so you've been investing that anticipation and you want that big payoff. So in that sense, it resembles very strongly gambling.
You said people is addicted to collection shit, but look, here's the thing though. I can't even lie. Because a bunch of us in the chat, not all, but a bunch of us, we spent money on Nikkei. And it's like now I'm crunching the numbers on like the 4-year, 3-year span that Nikkei's been out, how much money I spent. And I'm like, fuck me. You said that's y'all? No, Simi Beats, I saw your account. You got all the gacha skins and you're ranked top 10 within the world, bro. I saw how much money you spent. All right, let me see. You said I like collecting my units, but I don't spend much money. Nikkei and Hoyo. Okay. Hoyoverse. I don't know how you guys are in the Hoyoverse, bro. I love communism. I love giving my money to corporate overlords. I spent $700 on Riot and Shogun when it came out. I'm still kind of hurt because I lost every 50-50. Shit. Genshin fans. You said I spent a good 1K in Nikkei. I feel like over time, I know I spent like a good amount. I know I spent a good amount on Nikkei. I'm trying to slow down on it. I'm not going to lie. Especially with this Resident Evil event happening right now, I'm kind of just like, let me not go crazy because Anniversary is right around the corner. And I already know in Anniversary, they're going to go crazy. They're going to give us some fire-ass units in Anniversary.
So to understand how gambling has infiltrated almost every aspect of American life, we need to go back in history. Because what you're about to see is that this only became possible under the right economic conditions. And to get there, an entire generation, including many of you watching, were the very guinea pigs that made everything that we see today happen.
Yeah.
So with that, let's start in the 1950s.
Because you could think about it like millennials.
Wasn't just shopping.
Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
So much so that American
McDonald's,
leaders were literally branding mass
toys.
consumption as freedom, unlike the Soviet Union's state-controlled communistic economy. And it worked. By the 1960s, middle-class Americans enjoyed a living standard never before seen in history, and consumption became a way to prove capitalism's superiority. But then, zooming forward, the cracks started showing. The 1970s brought foreign competition. In the 1980s, we saw auto workers smashing Toyotas with sledgehammers, furious that Japanese imports were taking American jobs. And by the 90s, when the Cold War ended, so did the us versus them narrative that slowly started fading away. And as globalization and outsourcing took over, the Buy American campaigns also started fading in the mainstream. But look, here's where it gets interesting. Because as patriotic consumption died, something else was...
Quick question, chat. I know this is random. Well, which car brands he said was Japanese? Was it Toyota and Honda? Are those Japanese? Nissan? Toyota, Nissan. But here's the thing though, right? I fuck with Toyota. I love Toyota. You said fuck American cars? I was just about to say that. Like for example, what's an American car brand? I like off the top of my head, I don't know car brands too crazy, but is it Ford? Is Ford in America? Ford, right? I heard Fords are fucking dog shit. I have never heard a person being like, oh, Fords are amazing. No. Every person be like, this is an American brand car and it's fucking dog shit. But then me, in my lifetime that I've ever existed, I don't know if Honda's Japanese, but way before I got a Honda, right? Toyota, when I tell you that fucking car lasted me forever, that shit had over 200K miles, and I was still using that shit, and I was still doing whatever the fuck I had to do, bro. Like, that shit was surviving. Bro is shilling? Nah, bro. Hell no. Toyotas, I like Toyotas, bro. You said my car's a Toyota, it's over 12 years old? Hell no. American-made cars is dog shit. They're made like shit.
The way auto industry is ranked is basically Japan, US, China. In that order specifically.
My friend has a 1998 4Runner and that shit is solid as a rock. I don't know what brand's a 4Runner. I'm going to be honest with you. I love Mustangs. When I get money, I'm buying a nice BMW. You're crazy. You know how much money you got to spend in maintenance on a BMW? No cap. I could be rich. If I'm rich, I'm getting myself still a fucking Toyota. I'm gonna get myself either a Toyota or a Honda. I'm not going to be out here like, oh, let me get a Bugatti. Oh, man, fuck a BMW. Especially in New York. What the fuck am I going to be doing driving around a BMW? I'm going to get stopped by the police constantly because they're going to think I'm a squeeze Benz Andy. Get a used one, they're cheaper. I prefer the older Corvettes. Retro and a Hellcat? Hell no. If I have a Hellcat, I'm probably going to get robbed at gunpoint. I'm going to be outside driving and some dude in a shiesty going to come up to me. Give me that Hellcat.
Being born. Companies like Walmart began branding themselves as price-conscious retailers as they started noticing that consumers were increasingly becoming price and novelty driven.
And you'll always find low prices. That's our promise and our
damn,
commitment to you.
$1.50.
But the problem was
$87. 87 cents for Gatorade, bro? Gatorade now is $3. I'm telling you, bro, back in the day as a kid, if you walked into a bodega with $5 in your pocket, you leave it with a feast and change. You get 2 of those sperm killer barrel juices, 4 bags of Doritos. Each Dorito bag back in the day, the little small ones, was 25 cents, bro. With $1, you get 4 bags of burritos. You get 20 Hubba Bubba bubble gums because each one of the bubble gums was 5 cents. Then you get 2 of the barrel juices, which is 25 cents a pop. You still got money. Oh my God, bro. Yo.
Competing on low prices usually makes it a lot harder to build loyalty. And so companies needed a new way to create addiction. and you and I became the perfect.
The elephant Viagra.
While this economic shift was happening,
You said, and
companies
Arizona's
began
still $1,
quietly
yup.
experimenting on kids by turning shopping.
This is why you was fat
into
in
more
high
of a
school.
game
Exactly. I
experience. So
agree.
remember Happy Meal toys, Pokemon card packs, claw machines at the arcade. The collect them all appeal drove repeated purchases in pursuit of rare items, but more importantly, in pursuit of unpredictable rewards. And this is key here because what unpredictability taps into is a powerful conditioning that psychologists call the intermittent reinforcement. In short, it triggers a bunch of dopamine into your brain.
Yeah.
As you can imagine, it's the same mechanism that makes gambling so addictive.
Nice!
A 2023 study found that over 90% of young adults recalled playing claw machines as children, and those who did so more frequently were significantly more likely to gamble as adults. And the same playbook is being repeated with
Hell nah. Claw machines back in the day, I already knew that shit was a scumaz. I think in my lifetime, I probably won a claw machine maybe like a handful of times. But each time, you said Roblox? Oh, Roblox? Bro, the children of this new generation that's growing up right now, they're cooked. All they play is Roblox. So they're cooked. They're already super conditioned into gambling. Afro says, yo, Afro, get those numbers out of my chat, bro. You see, you're conditioning me, bro. Look at my hands. Yo, Afro, stop with that shit, bro. Come on, bro. Like, I ain't got
today's
time,
kids,
bro.
but at scale. For us, it might have been claw machines, but
I'm not
today's
looking at
kids
chat.
are on
I'm not looking at
Roblox,
chat. My hands
which is
already-
free to play, but it hooks kids through in-game
I gotta
purchases.
sit on them.
and
I gotta sit on
random
them. I gotta
rewards.
sit on them.
So I'll get into all
I
this,
got-
but as consumption evolved, companies started figuring out that the best way to create lifelong customers is to condition us early on as kids to crave surprises
Yup.
and random
And they do that
rewards.
shit with the Kinder eggs.
As I'll reveal
I
by the end
can't
of the
lie.
video, the
I
uncertain-
can't lie. I've gotten some Kinder eggs. Like the Christmas Kinder eggs, fire. You get like these cute little ornaments and shit. I love that.
Piece surrounding today's economy almost guarantees that this is about to get a whole lot worse. And as you know with gambling, the house always wins.
Yup.
But when it comes to creating online, you don't want to leave that up to
You
chance.
have 6-7
why-
viewers around actually.
Shut the hell up. Oddity. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it. Stop. Hit play. Hit play.
Use
Fuck.
my sponsor, Opus Clip. And they've grown way beyond clipping. Now it's one of the most powerful AI growth tools for creators. And with automated workflows, my long videos get pulled in, auto-edited into clips, and soon even scheduled to post while
I'm
offline.
okay.
The new editor is faster than ever with fresh caption styles, and they're upgraded for trial and see how much faster you can grow.
No way. So you're telling me I could do that and artificial intelligence will just make a bunch of clips for me and distribute it upon multiple websites? I don't believe that.
Because just how companies perfected this formula on kids, companies have now figured out how to get into a previously untapped market. Because we all know that traditional gambling already has a grip over men through sports betting and poker, but women have historically avoided these spaces. So their master plan was this. Instead of calling it gambling as we know it, the goal was to make it cute, social, and about treating yourself.
True. And you know how they did it too? And you know how they did it? You know how they did it? They did it with labubus and they did it with album K-pop sales. And in the album K-pop boxes, they started putting your favorite stan as cards in album sales. The photo cards, bro. Bro, my sisters spent hundreds, even maybe thousands of fucking dollars to get their favorite character as a card, so they bought multiple albums to boost their sales. I will never forget the day when one of my sisters tried to really walk up to me, look me in the eyes, and asked me to, hey, can I borrow $500 so I could order a bunch of albums and see if I could get my favorite stan? I looked at my sister in the face and said, bitch, you're cracked out. Hell no. And I walked away. Ain't no fucking way. I told her straight up, hell fucking no. Hell fucking no. $500? And I was like, why you need $500 for? Oh, so I could get a bunch of albums, so I could get a card of my favorite stamp. Get the fuck out of here. You said, but if it was Nikkei, you see, look, Unibot. Here's the thing though. If it was Nikkei, I'll still tell them no. You know why? Because it's my money. I don't give a fuck. You pay for what you work for.
Have to
Bitch,
give
you
it
work for
to
what you
it's
want.
Absolutely genius.
I ain't gonna spend that.
And it's working like crazy. And a perfect example of this are blind boxes.
Blind
Walk
boxes.
into any trendy toy store today and you'll see this. Collectible toys packaged like mystery prizes
Yup.
where you don't know what's inside until you open it. The poster child for this trend, this little guy here. If you're 90% of my audience, you probably have absolutely no idea what this is, but this is a labubu. And these goblin-faced, to be honest, I don't know what it is made from a Chinese toy maker called Pop Mart, and it's achieving cult status.
I wanted labubus.
What is a boo-boo?
A labubu.
A labubu?
Labubu.
Celebrities from Rihanna to K-pop bands have all been spotted carrying labubus. Limited edition drops sell out within hours, and people wait hours in line just to buy one of these things.
The universe is about to give you a gift.
And then the worst part about this chat is I know for a fact them shits is probably so cheap to manufacture. They probably cost like $1 and some change to make, and then they resell it, and then they like, oh my god. I feel like each one of them shits that they sell is just pure profit, bro. It's like, come on.
I'm dead wrong.
In fact, demand is so high that there's an entire resale market.
Look at this.
Rare labubus fetch 3 times more than their original price. $80 or more for a fucking figurine that retails around $30 to $45.
That's what I'm saying.
But the reason why it's gotten this way is because these blind boxes exploit the very same psychological triggers as slot machines.
Yes.
But it's cute. They play on curiosity and anticipation, collection and completion impulses, and FOMO from the limited availability that they release. And all this taps into the variable ratio reward system, where every purchase is a chance of hitting the jackpot, or in practice, pulling a secret rare labubu that completes your collection. And the fact that it's in a blind box where you don't know which toy you're gonna get when you buy one, it's the very point. It's the gambling thrill that gets you hooked like
Exactly. Notice that, chat. Notice this though, right? When it comes to labubus, you notice how people never just outright buy the labubus they want. They want to get it in the box because they want that experience of they don't know what they're gonna get. Because there's a lot of people out here selling just the labubus outright. Like, they'd be like, hey, you want the green labubu? 20, 30 bucks. And then people are like, I don't want to just buy the labubu because part of the experience is getting the box, unboxing it, opening it up. You don't know what you're going to get. You might get the secret. You might get the red one. You might get the blue one. We don't know, bro. He said that's how they're sold, aren't they? Yes. Yes. But you could just outright buy the labubu sometimes if you want, like, the basic ones. You know what I'm saying? But that's how they get you. And then, like, sometimes you're forced to get the upscaled or the upselled prices ones because you want the whole experience. IRL gotcha labubus are like $35 for one box and $200 for an entire box. Yeah.
Imagine being the Chinese factory slave sleeping and the only thing he can see is that fucking SSR labubu he had to put together 5,000 times.
Bro, if I was one of those people working in that Chinese factory making those freaking limited rare rainbow labubus, bro, I'd be pocketing a bunch of them shits and I put them up on eBay. And I sell them for $100 a pop. You seen the KSI labubu? I know that shit forehead crazy.
one of the 75% of...
Oh, I remember a lady made it and she made that thing black. Like super black. I remember.
Pop Mart's customers that are young women. So if you really think about it, blind boxes are essentially just slot machines on steroids, but for women, and they're making billions of dollars on this behind the fact that it's so cute. Sorry. But anyways, blind boxes are just the beginning of what I call softcore gambling. And it's not...
Make some Nikkei blind boxes and on my soul, I buy them shits, bro. Make them cute little plushies, bro. I'm aiming for Laplace. I'm aiming for Dorothy, bro. On my soul, give me Shadow Black Scarlet, bro. I'm a victim. Caught!
Just infiltrating young women. There's even examples like social casinos that literally simulate slot machines, poker, and other casino
Make
games,
a blind box for everything, so that'll probably happen.
Real money is won. And you start playing with virtual coins in which you can buy more coins using real cash. And these social casino apps like Slot Mania are made up of 72% women, mainly aged around 35 to 55.
Damn.
But the most concerning soft gambling example is in gamified shopping that is designed to make spending money feel less like shopping and more like gaming. You probably heard of Shein and Temu by now, but what you may not know is that their user base is 63 to 66% women.
What?
Versus Amazon.
Chat, no cap, I've
primarily
never
skews
bought
men.
anything from
And
Temu.
if you've ever been on it,
I'm
you
not
can
putting my
probably guess why
information on
this is the
Temu.
case. As soon as you go on, you get blasted with slot machines and spin the wheel pop-ups for mystery coupons and flash sales and timers telling you that you have to buy now. And by creating these artificial urgencies, these apps nudge users to buy now, think later, where the deal itself becomes a jackpot if you're able to snag it in time.
You
And
said
through all these-
who? Dr. Kanoha dropped a video where he went to a store doing a Nikkei event and bro dropped a bank on polls there for rewards. It's wild out there. You said, what's the problem? We all learned Chinese in the second half of this century. Kless, what the fuck are you even talking about? Kless, are you like 30 minutes behind on stream? Like, what are you talking about?
Examples, what the question now becomes is what explains this massive gender divide between softcore and hardcore gambling? Simply put, it's psychology. Research
Yes.
shows that the further you move away from money on the table towards surprise for its own sake, the more female the audience becomes. In simple terms, women respond more to low risk, steady rewards focused on collection, completion, and community rather than pure competition. Think about it this way. A girl buying a labubu finds happiness in finally getting the pink bunny or whatever the hell it is that completes their zodiac set. Whereas men are more likely to gamble for the competitive and financial reasons,
Yes.
like Logan Paul making an entire video flexing how he finally got this ultra rare Pokemon card that costs
Oh,
money.
that's tough.
So just to
The
drive the point
Illustrator
home,
shit?
men prefer more of these high stakes environments, like the fact that 96% of the players in the 2025 World Series of Poker were men versus only 4% women. And as you can imagine
Damn.
with these gender differences, so is the differences in the business model of these companies. Traditional hardcore gambling relies on a small percentage of whales or high rollers that spend huge amounts of money.
The most you lost in a night? Around 300,000.
But
Oh
soft
my
gambling is the direct opposite.
god.
Instead of needing
300K?
each user to spend a lot, they
Bro,
need
I'm ripping my balls like this and I'm putting it over my head as a reverse hoodie and I'm sleeping that way. 300 bands, bro? The house always wins? Digi, stop saying that shit.
millions of users to spend a little, and so the goal becomes fundamentally different, where it's more about making every customer a consistent spender by keeping them within the ecosystem. And they're
That's
doing
how they
that-
get us in Nikkei, bro. What the fuck? Monthly mission passes. We're guaranteed to spend $20 a month minimum. Events with special skins. Another $20. Monthly gems, $5, then $15 for the upgrade shits. Another $20. Chat, help me. Chat. I could have bought a car at this moment. You have the choice, sir, and I made the choice to spend my coin. Ain't no saving you. Come on, Simi Beats, please. Simi Beats, give me your hands. Simi Beats, give me your fucking hands. Simi Beats, look at my hands. They're focused. Give me your fucking hands. Now that, give me your fucking hands. Nep Nep, give me your fucking hands. He said I'm gonna keep spending. You right, I'm gonna keep spending, bro. Because I'm a fiend, bro. I'm a fiend, bro. I'm a fiend. I freaking love this shit, bro. I still didn't even open up my... I still didn't even open up my Dorothy shit, bro. My Dorothy kimono, bro. I have to put this shit on... I gotta put that shit on during the shit, bro. I still didn't even put that... I didn't even open that shit, bro. I gotta put it on during the... I'm telling you. During the anniversary.
successful.
It's not a kimono, but
Nearly
it's like a
half
little
of
thing.
Pop Mart's purchases are from returning customers, and there's a whole ass community. Fans attend Pop Mart conventions, share collections on social media, and anticipate new releases just like a sneakerhead would wait
Yeah,
for the
sneakerheads
new
be going
Jordans.
crazy too.
And it's how just in a couple of years, they've skyrocketed to a multi-billion-dollar
44
valuation
billion?
by selling what are essentially cheap 5-cent toys for
Ew,
$45.
them shits is ugly.
By turning retail into a reoccurring service with built-in reasons to come back, they've turned millions of women into consistent gamblers without them realizing it. And the genius play behind it is that they're creating an illusion of winning for the customer, making spending feel like playing, and it's all built on a system where the house is guaranteed to win. But like I've been saying, none of this can happen without the right economic conditions. Because what most people aren't talking about is that this gambling epidemic
Yes.
isn't random. It's a direct response to economic desperation.
How small bets predict economical
When
collapse?
people can't afford the big things in life, they start making small bets on happiness instead.
True.
This pattern of behavior is actually an economic indicator that predicts when everything is about to collapse. In fact, there's even a theory for all of this. In the aftermath of 2001, the chairman of Estee Lauder, the beauty empire that owns brands like Le Labo and Clinique, noticed something strange. Lipstick sales were surging despite a slumping economy. And he noticed it again after the 2008 financial crash. Lipstick sales spiked, and during the inflation of 2022, the same thing happened. He called it the lipstick index, that when times get tough, people swap big purchases for small luxuries. And it wasn't just lipstick, but fancy chocolates, $10 lattes, and artisanal candles. All these sales surged when a house, car, or vacation became unaffordable. It kind of makes sense when you think about it.
I mean, it does make sense, because then you start getting small things that are expensive, but they're not like gonna break your bank, if that makes any sense. So I could understand, like, you know, you'd be like, damn, bro, I can't get that Michael Kors bag, but then you'd be like, let me go to Sephora to get myself this nice lipstick that probably costs like $15, $20, but you know, it makes my lips look nice or some shit. It makes sense. You get little things, and then you could get little things in bulk, and it gives you like a sense of dopamine, because at least you're getting like multiple things that I feel like you're gonna use. But
these little treats that make you feel better become a guilt-free bet on happiness. And if we're gonna get all technical, it serves as this economic escapism to cope with the fact that the bigger goals in life has become impossible. And that's exactly
you said I should buy those Maridon and Coridon codes off of eBay. You want to buy them codes? Them codes are expensive. You say you think that's why indie games do so well now? I wouldn't say 100%, but I feel like indie games now, I feel like indie games are doing better now than I guess in the past, is because people are acknowledging indie games more, and they're seeing more indie games get way more love. Because look, I ain't gonna lie, the state of AAA games right now is kind of wonky. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes motherfuckers be out here like, yo, these games been in development for years, and they're AAA backed up by all these big ass companies, and they're fucking ass. But then an indie game will come out, and the art style and everything will be very simplistic and shit, but it's very fun. And then, I don't know, I just feel like a lot of people are finding out more about indie games. Not everything is fucking FIFA, Call of Duty, Fortnite, and fucking you know, like big games. It's a combination of things, but prices is a huge thing right now. That's true, because we're not out here fiending to spend $70. Like, AAA games right now are very expensive, $70, $80. So we'd rather go for the games right now that are like $20, $25, or wait for the AAA games to go on sale.
what we're seeing now, but on steroids, with blind boxes, social casinos, and gamified shopping. But it's not just women. Men too are doing this, but just a little differently. Right now, Google searches for how to day trade are at all-time highs. And just how unemployment numbers serve as recession predictors, so does unconventional spikes in amateur day trading. Historically, we also saw this in 2021 during the AMC short squeeze frenzy, and when paychecks started becoming uncertain, people started chasing fast money and upside to make up that difference in income. And when regular people lose hope in steady jobs and find overconfident hope in easy trading apps, recession typically followed within the next 6 to 12 months. And with online gambling becoming more legal and available, this desperation is showing up in the fact that 1 in 2 American men today have a gambling account. So when traditional paths to prosperity like homeownership, stable careers, building wealth feels more like the lottery than a certainty, both men and women don't just stop seeking rewards. They just downsize their bets in different ways when the big wins in life seem impossible. And these companies are smart because they're hooking you in an endless dopamine loop where your economic anxiety continues to get monetized. But the more dangerous aspect about this is that it's not just changing how we spend money, it's starting to change reality itself. Because when everything becomes a bet, the line between prediction and manipulation starts disappearing. And that's where everything truly gets scary.
How gambling is dictating the future.
And believe it or not, we just saw this threshold get crossed this year. Just over a month ago, something kept happening in the middle of WNBA games. No, it wasn't people deciding to sleep during the game. Let's just say that people were throwing certain objects on the court.
And you can see the object, the block right there. The object comes, that green thing bounces and it goes to the sideline.
And after a few of these incidents started happening, platforms like Polymarket that allow people to bet on real life events started posting a market for people to predict which day the next object will be thrown.
What? The green dildo? You can now bet which day dildos with. Yo, that's insane, bro. So you telling me I can just go to a WNBA court and I'ma bet, yo, today one green dildo gonna hit. I'ma max bet. I'ma grab a green dildo and just chuck that bitch into the fucking stage and then get paid?
So think about what that means. Like this guy says, prediction markets aren't just predicting outcomes anymore. They're encouraging people to interfere and create future outcomes. We're literally at a stage where platforms and bettors profit from disrupting future events because it drives engagement in betting volume. And so even if you don't shop on Shein or place bets on draft picks, you and I included are increasingly engaging in this overall gambling economy.
Crazy.
One where companies profit from creating addictive spending behavior like
Robinhood added betting last year? No way. I didn't even know that. I haven't been in Robinhood in a minute.
So the choice is yours, really.
Even Coinbase, like I haven't bought shit in Coinbase for a while. I just have a bunch of crypto on that shit. And it's just been like, I just leave that shit in there. Luckily, my crypto is looking kind of nice in there because of XRP. Shout out to XRP. I wish XRP could just keep fucking flying up. But I leave whatever the fuck is in there, and I ain't touching that shit. If some shit in the future happens where the shit keeps going up, then I'm up. If it's not, then A. But right now in my crypto shit, I'm up because I got XRP when that shit was dirt cheap, and now XRP is I think like around like $2 and some change. So I'm kind of fucking nice. You said they was betting on the election. Companies are evil. Who would have thought? You could have betted on who would win the election. Lamau? I don't even know that.
It's your money, but next time you're about to make that purchase to treat yourself, really ask yourself, am I buying something I need, or am I buying a temporary fix for my economic anxiety? Could that money be invested in something that could actually change your situation, or are you just feeding the machine that keeps you exactly where you are?
I mean, true, but sometimes in life you gotta treat yourself. You know what I'm saying? There might be situations in life where you're like, damn, bro, I shouldn't buy this because it's not going to help me in any type of way. But then you sometimes think to yourself, hey, bro, you only live once. It's good to treat yourself sometimes. So it's good to, like, you know, buy yourself some shit that's going to give you a little sense of dopamine and make you a little happy. I feel like it's bad when you go too crazy on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you spending all your paychecks on that shit and you're, like, broke. Like, for example, chat, I know this shorty on Instagram. Shorty is living paycheck to paycheck because she keeps on buying stupid shit. And then sometimes she will post in her IG stories her bank account story. Or like her bank account statements. Bro, her shits be in the negative, bro. Like I've never seen somebody that financially unstable. But I don't know how the hell she's even surviving still. It's most likely because she's still living with parents. But bro, she just spends on whatever. Like sometimes she would post Instagram stories. She'd be like, I bought 3 labubus and I bought myself some Doc Marten boots. And I'm like, bro, you're spending all your paycheck on this shit, and you only got like $300 to $200 in your bank account, bro. Like, that's insanity. I could never. But at the end of the day, she living her own life, bro. But like I said, bro, you just got to be smart where you're spending. You could treat yourself if you have money to spend, but if you're like damn near treading that line of like, bro, I'm in the red, don't go spending it on crazy shit. Only spend it on necessities. I think horse racing started this. Nah, I think betting started like way back in the day. Like, we talking about ancient Rome and shit. Like, we talking biblical times, bro. Motherfuckers was like betting on people killing each other and shit. They've been betting since like forever. Like,
Because in an
betcha,
economy
gotta,
where everything is a
gotcha
bet,
shits.
just like gambling, the house always wins. So maybe the only winning move left is recognizing what game do I really want to play.
Yup.
Is if you're the special 2,400 of you who already are learning how money and power works, I'll be going even deeper into this issue next week on my free newsletter in the video description. But if you want to watch the first part of this series on this gambling epidemic, go and watch this next video on how online gambling broke America.
Okay, he gets a sub a dub from me. He did a good video, chat. Thank you for whoever recommended that. That was very good. That was very good. That was very...